I believe in due process.
Welcome to our City Council meeting for tonight, March 7th, 2018. We will begin with an invocation by Councilman Adams, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, led by our Scout Troop, Troop 379. Councilman Adams.
Our Father in heaven, we're indeed grateful this evening for the opportunity we have to meet here in our city council meeting with our council and staff and the members of our community. We're grateful for this community that we live in, for all of those who put forth so much effort in making it a great place to live and a place to raise our families in peace and in harmony. And we're grateful for the blessings of living in this beautiful area surrounded by mountains and for those things that we sometimes take for granted each and every day. We ask you to bless us this night, that thy spirit will be with us as we talk about the items that we have on our agenda, that everyone will be able to express their ideas and concerns in a peaceful manner and give all the input that we need to have to make the decisions coming up. At this time, we ask a special blessing upon those who protect us in our community, our police officers, our firemen, and our paramedics, and those who labor diligently to take care of those things that come up in our community that can be challenging and stressful and much needed to be cared for. We're so grateful for them and their service, and for all of those who volunteer in our community also for the various organizations and things that they're involved in all of our lives to make it a great place. Thank you again for all the many blessings that we enjoy, and we pray for these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I guess we ought to walk that.
That way, I guess.
Please rise. Please follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Councilman Adams, and thank you to our scouts. We will now move on with our agenda order approval. If there are any items the council would like changed from the published agenda, and if not, can we get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve order as is listed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll move to council business.
I just wanted to acknowledge the new paintings that we have in the council, and what a nice job I think that our library staff has been doing with Steve Decker and then the artist who participated in taking down the old and putting it up. It's nice to have this surrounding us and letting us see all the great artists that are in our community. And it's a nice addition to the room.
Yes. All right. Are there any other comments, questions? No? All
Okay,
right.
if no one else is, I'm going to. I just want to publicly thank city staff for the great job they did in helping prep and everything for the groundbreaking of the animal shelter. I know a lot of people worked very hard to get the land prepped and the stage put up and soil brought in and shovels brought out and nice soft sand for digging. So I just want to acknowledge everyone's hard work as we trudged around in the mud that morning. But it was fun. It was crisp and kept everyone awake. But it was a great event, and it'll be a great addition to our community. So I just want to thank the staff.
Yes. Wonderful.
Agreed.
Thank you for that. And with that, we will move on to staff comments. There are any? Okay, perfect. We'll move on to our public agenda with our public comment portion. If there's anyone that would like to address the council? Yes.
Dallin Staley with the ice rink. We good to go on that, Kit. So, yeah, just thought I'd give a quick report on the year. So, overall, a pretty good year. I'll just run through the numbers here, and then got a little video we could play too. So, okay. Yeah. So, quick rundown of the numbers. Individual skating passes, 15,497. Skate rentals there, just a little behind that. So a few people have their own skates in town now. 17 season passes. One number that was kind of surprising to us this year was the 67 private rentals. So we'd just rent the whole ice rink out to a group by the hour. The rate was $180 to $200 an hour. It included skate rentals for everyone that came. So, yeah, average of maybe 20 people to 80 people for any of those private rental sessions. So we probably had another 2,000 to 3,000 people participate in just the private rentals. So that was everything from parties to groups just renting it to do their own little hockey thing, or lots of church groups would rent it out just for a big group. So that was actually a really, really good thing to see, and pretty easy to do too, when you just have one lump sum and then just hand out a whole bunch of skates. So that was nice.
Was that hard to get that in mixed in with all your other demands, or?
No, we scheduled time for it every week, and then we just were basically overwhelmed with requests for more time. So I turned down dozens of other private rentals too that we just couldn't squeeze in because either the schedule didn't allow it or the weather didn't allow it. The weather was a big limiting factor in a lot of things just during the day with sunshine or snow or different things. But
Well, how does the first number compare to last season? Do you have any idea?
I don't really have any good numbers for last year.
But you're going to start from now on carrying all these numbers forward, or year over year.
Yeah, we'll
Great.
keep good track of them from now on. So I would say it was basically full to capacity all the time, except for maybe the last week of January into a couple weeks into February. That was where it got really warm. Maybe everyone got spring fever. I don't know, but it picked up quite a bit there the last couple of weeks of February again when it got colder. So.
Dallin, how early do you start with groups, or when they can rent it? I've noticed some there in early afternoon.
Yeah, technically
I'm just
7
curious.
a.m. is when we were allowed to do it. So we had a lot of groups. Well, every Saturday morning we had a standing order from 7 to 8 a.m.
Okay.
Then several times we started at 7 a.m. even on weekdays, and a lot of daytime stuff with the FLDS communities that bring groups over during the day a lot.
That's what I was curious about. Okay.
Yeah, and that's where the sunshine limited us a fair amount, is just on warmer days, the ice wasn't really skatable during the day, and we'd have to turn groups away and stuff. So, yeah. Let's see. Is that how I do it? There we go. Yeah, so on the program side, in the adult hockey league, we ended up having 107 people registered for the adult hockey. We had two leagues, an A league and a B league. So the B league was a very beginner league. We had a lot of people that played hockey for the first time ever, and most of them enjoyed it, I think. And then the A league was basically experienced players. We had 4 teams in each league, and got tons of good feedback from that. Had a really good season, had a tournament at the end, crowned a champion for each league, and it was a blast. So
hasn't the Yeti group that was skating, didn't they do quite well in their competition this year? Didn't they?
Yep. So that's the high school team.
Okay.
The high school team wasn't allowed to play at our ice rink this year because we just don't have the facilities that the high school hockey required this year, so they wouldn't let them play. So every game they played was a road game. They finished second in state out of 28 teams in the state. So pretty impressive.
That was a product of years before, those kids playing on that ice and skating, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, yeah, they've been playing for several years now. So I guess we're making a name for ourselves, even though we're just kind of a makeshift rink down here. We've got a good team that's competing at a pretty high level in the high school division. So that's pretty impressive, actually. And another thing that was kind of cool is even though SUU got creamed, we did host an exhibition college game between SUU and UVU. So
Great. First time ever, right?
first time ever. So kind of cool. Youth hockey, there was 3 age divisions, 10 to 14, 8 to 10, and 8 and under. There's 52 players in those 3 divisions. And so that was one I felt like should have probably been better, where there's a lot of room for growth. Just kind of getting that back up to speed. So the Learn to Skate class was also really good. We did a 6-week Learn to Skate class. We had 2 USA figure skating certified instructors teaching the classes, and they had 37 students sign up for the classes this year. So pretty good. Let's see. Okay. Just a couple more little things. 175 pro shop items sold, 4,398 concessions items sold. So even though it wasn't a big part of the business, at least we were providing those services that a real rink would provide in a small way. Yeah, so I think a picture kind of says 1,000 words. So I put together just a quick video with some pictures that I could scrounge up of things that went on this year at the ice rink. So do I have to hit play there?
I don't see any council members.
It's for a reason, Tom.
That's right.
I went out there, not on the ice.
I'm in that Learn to Skate group. That would be me. It's great.
The dentists in town probably like that number of hockey participants.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, they're proud when they miss teeth. They probably don't get them replaced. I don't think. Right, Dylan?
Badge of courage. Great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to see a few pictures, but yeah, so kind of a little bit of everything represented there. Then I guess the last thing I just thought I'd mention is maybe just kind of the state of the ice rink as it sits right now. So yeah, to finish the season, I would say the overall feeling of everything that went on there was very positive. A lot of people asking what they can do to help things progress, keep things going, keep it here. So I guess it's really becoming an important part of the community to a lot of people. I feel like we provided most of the services that any full service ice rink would provide anywhere, even given the facilities that are up there, aren't necessarily what a full service ice rink would have to work with, but we did the best we could, and most people were pretty happy with how things went. A lot of good feedback on the improvements that we did this year, especially the rubber flooring in the public area. Had a lot of really good comments there. So think that was definitely a step in the right direction. And I think people were really excited just to see some positive change there, even though it was small improvements. So that was good. The weather, as always, is always kind of a limiting factor. You take what you can get and you do the best with it. I would say this year was almost a best case scenario. We had not very much snow, really nice weather overall. Sometimes it was a little too warm, but that's better than being buried in snow. So that was nice this year. Yeah, I guess on the maybe not so rosy side, the equipment up there is aging. Every year it's a year older. It was already kind of old when we got it. So that's just, I guess, the way it is right now. Things are aging. Hopefully we get a few more years out of it, but when it does break down, it's old. There's probably a lot of obsolete parts in the system that would be tough to replace without just replacing everything. So I guess that's kind of where we stand, but generally a really good feeling about the year. So
Dallin, maybe I make a couple comments. A few weeks ago, I reached out to, and I don't want to say too much because it's not finalized yet, but I reached out to an individual in town about how we could support the ice rink and maybe move forward from here. And he actually volunteered to donate a metal building that's, what was it, 110 by 220? But is that what it was?
yeah, that's what the email said that you
Yeah,
forwarded to me.
it's a really nice looking building. It's one that's used, but it's in good shape. It'd have to be taken down and moved over here and put back up. But it's about 24,000 square feet. It would hold an ice rink inside. I would like to explore with the council, excuse me, of using that corner, between the ball fields and the aquatic center to maybe explore. We talked about that a little bit, about exploring the option of maybe doing a permanent ice rink there. And it'd be very visible on that road with the traffic and just start exploring other future options. Dallin mentioned he's got some contractors at Skate that would be interested in maybe disassembling that structure and reassembling it. And with a lot of donated labor, we've had a lot of individuals in the trades that have volunteered labor with plumbing and other skills to help further this venue. And so I think we can, Paul, and I know Tyler's not here tonight, but Paul, maybe we could explore there you go, the option of a public-private partnership right there on that corner. It takes some excavation with the grades there, but it could be exciting. I think, maybe do a permanent facility there. I know there's been some, it just doesn't seem like it's the idea of leaving it where it's at has been as popular as some might hope. So maybe we look at that other location and maybe, look at some options.
So when Staley Rec gets ready to move, I guess give us about 6 months between the two of us to work out a long-term lease, and we can get something in writing that we could propose to the council, but just make sure we got that lead time before you get ready to go.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously there's a long road between now and then, but we definitely want to see it, keep getting better, keep getting bigger. And I think this year was a pretty good example of it being very well supported from the local community and surrounding communities. So,
well, it looks like you had people from all ages participating, which was very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had an 80-year-old guy playing in the A-League.
All right, Mr. Jet, there's your opportunity.
Yep.
Yes, and the improvements you made things look so much better and so much more professional. So thank you guys for taking that on.
Well, hasn't the impact on the aquatic center been where most people come around the north side now to skate? They don't really, do they affect the aquatic center as much, Brian, as they used to, or has it been a lot better that way? Or
Brian Dangerfield, Director of Leisure Services and Events. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to get up and speak, because Dallin has just been fantastic to work with. The problems were minimal. Everybody's respectful of the aquatic center, and I think it was a fantastic year. And it started off with us going down to the Vegas Golden Knights game, and they let the kids go out and skate on the ice during the national anthem.
Fun.
It was just a great way to start the year off and a great relationship that we have. But we had signage up so people knew where to go. We had that new sidewalk that was made with the handicap accessible ramps. So that really helped a lot. And then the improvements they made and just the professionalism that the Staley Rec Management Group showed was just fabulous. We couldn't be more happy.
Well, the thing that's exciting, if we can work out a deal on the land, if this building deal works out, we got land, the building, donated labor, maybe the Golden Knights would help with some of the expenses of getting some concrete. Who knows, we might be able to pull this off.
We know they like us a lot. They thought it was pretty impressive that a group from Southern Utah came down and have that relationship with them. So it was fun.
It's great.
They still lead the West.
Yes, they do.
Well, Dallin, great job.
Outstanding.
Appreciate all you guys have done to make this more professional and successful. And we appreciate those in the past that gave it their all to get this thing going. Everybody involved has been great.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe just a quick plug for Brian too. The feeling is mutual. Him and Chris were great to work with, and all the guys over there at the Aquatic Center, and any help that you guys will allow him to help us with, especially on the Golden Knights side, or some of that relationship building. He's great at it. So I'd gladly work with him on anything you guys will let him work on with us. So,
well, we appreciate getting the updates. That's very important to know how it all's going. Thank you.
Feel free to
Thank
ask
you,
me
Dallin.
anything. Terry and Craig are going to come look over the books and stuff from the year too. So I guess on the most basic level, there's still money in the bank account. So that's a good sign.
Look at the smile that comes on Craig's face when you mention anything that deals with that.
So, but yeah, I assume they could give you a better report on that if you guys want to get it from them too at some point. So
Thanks, Dallin.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
thanks.
All right. Are there any other public comments that do not deal with an agenda item? No? Okay, then we will move on with our agenda. With the business agenda public portion first, item number 1, consider vicinity plan for the Cedar Bend Townhomes Phase 2 and 3 PUD.
Bob Platt, representing Velocity Builders on this project. Out at 3000 North and about 400 East, just west of the bowling alley. This right here, these are existing townhomes that have been constructed. There's a couple down here that they're finishing. This is just 2 more phases of the project on a vicinity map. Oops.
So we must be filling them up.
Apparently.
So, Bob, I have a question for either you or perhaps Councilman Eisen. What was the final outcome of that fence issue? And for the people, the existing ones, where there was evidently supposed to be a fence, and then the fence, they weren't sure if the fence was built or not built, and was it going to be built?
The amended plat is still not finalized. It's been through vicinity approval with this body and the Planning Commission about a year ago. There's resolution is coming.
Okay.
I can just say that.
Okay. I just want to make sure that there is some kind of resolution
Yeah.
for those people that are living there.
Yeah.
All right. Are there,
Does that pond go away, Bob?
That
Yeah. Is that outside?
I don't think that's on our
That's
the
not on
project.
there.
This is where you enter the
That's
project
an
right
irrigation
there.
pond.
Yeah, that's not applicable.
How far north does the Cedar City limits go past this? Is it very far, Kent?
No, it's only, this is 3000 north, so it's 2 blocks north, 3200
Okay,
north.
because I thought that was pushing.
Another half mile. Wait, no, quarter mile. Yeah.
Mhm.
all right. Are there any other comments, questions, concerns related to this item? No? All right. That on the agenda. Okay, our item number 2, public hearing to consider entering a lease with Nancy Clark concerning the property located at the old treatment plant, 2400 North Bulldog Road.
Eric Bonzo, wastewater superintendent, mayor, council. I was approached by Nancy Clark about a month ago on the possibility of her putting some 20 to 30 head of sheep at the old treatment plant to feed on the overgrown weeds and all the vegetation down there. I told her that I was pretty sure that back in 2013 that we entered an agreement with another individual to put goats on that property. And to the best of my knowledge, I know that the goats were put on that property for like 2 to 3 months, pulled off, and they have never returned since. And so there's quite an overgrowth of that down there. I talked to Paul on this and to Tyler, and kind of gave it to Tyler, and he says what we need to do is break the agreement and make a new agreement with Nancy Clark.
Now, that was my question, whether we had terminated the previous agreement or had the right to. But.
Yeah, we have the right in the agreement. We have the right to terminate it. I think it's like $20 a year is what we charge them, and we saw the payment from the folks that were running the goats the first year. We don't think we've seen payment since then, so terminating that's probably not going to be a difficult task.
We had any contact with the previous leasee?
I have not.
Is the fencing sufficient to hold sheep?
The fencing around the plant is for sure. There's some concern, which is in the agreement, that tells them that anywhere that they do not want their sheep, that needs to be fenced. Because if you get over where there's still a lot of mechanical components of the old treatment plant there, you have some open clarifiers, some open wet wells that are still there. And so that would have to be definitely addressed to let Nancy know that these hazards are there and that she'd need to fence that if that's what she wants to do. So.
Okay.
I think for $20 we can risk it.
Yeah.
So
it's not a big money maker, but it keeps the weeds down.
Yeah.
And like she said, should put 20 to 30 head of sheep on there till it's fed down, and should pull them off. She ain't gonna leave them there. And so I'm thinking maybe a couple times a year at the most. So.
Okay. So where this is a public hearing, we'll open the public hearing. If there's anyone that would like to address the council. Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing. And is the council good with this going on the consent agenda to terminate the one? And
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I like weed abatement gets paid for by someone else.
Yeah. All right. Consider approving the second amended plat for Cedar Woods Estate PUD Phase 1.
Good evening. Daryl Brown with Watson Engineering. So the original plat for this PUD included convertible land area in these two areas here. And this plat is just converting that land into buildable area so that the developer can go in and build those 8 units. So this is just a supplement to.
Yeah, that was a new term to most of us, convertible land. What actually does that mean?
What does that mean?
So with the original plat, we designated these 2 areas as convertible land so that in the future, the developer could come in and basically develop that or build on that area as they felt they needed to. But at that time, they didn't have any plans to build yet, but they wanted the option to be able to do that.
Yeah, and that term comes right out of state code under the subdivision code, convertible land in PUDs where they.
But it doesn't change anything with the existing ordinance or anything for that area. It doesn't. So all the parking restrictions and all those things are going to be the same as
the same.
Okay.
Are there any additional comments, questions?
Just a disclosure that I'm working on this project, my company.
Okay. Are we? People still look kind of confused.
No, I'm just trying to figure out exactly where this is. I mean, I know it's between third and fourth.
You know where Melling Granite is?
Yes.
Right directly west of Melling Granite, or where it used to be. They've moved now, but it's
Fourth north and fourth
Are you
west.
taking down my old house?
I don't know.
they've remodeled several of those homes,
I know.
and so
I lived at 431 North, third west.
All right.
And third west.
Anyways, so
Sounds like a personal problem.
yeah, I was like, that's great. You all
It
can talk
is.
about this afterwards. So we're
suppose that's
good
my
with
old
this
house,
going
okay?
on the action agenda for next time where it's the ordinance dealing with it. Okay. Item number 4, public hearing to consider abandoning a portion of Skyview Drive.
Evening, John Adams. I'm a current trustee for the Cedar City Masonic Lodge here in town. Quick backstory just for those who aren't familiar with it. The land that our lodge and the LDS church there to the south of us sit on was originally slated to be a residential development. Obviously, the plans changed. The LDS church came in, put their building there. We took the other half of the land there to the north. The road that comes off of Skyview Drive was originally slated to go all the way through and connect to the road that's on the other side of what's now the church. Obviously, there's now nowhere for that road to go, with the exception of to our building. It just serves our building and our parking lot there. So we've just come to the time where we'd like to see that public road easement abandoned. We're still aware of a utility easement for power and water that would still remain in that area, and they'll be accessible at all times.
Who is that? The red line?
It's the red line.
That's the easement, right?
That's the road.
Does the easement go down?
Easement
to the center
goes
of
down,
that?
goes down that road.
Okay.
Yeah, we retain that.
Who are the property owners there on the east and the west of the road?
To the road is only on our property. Our property goes to, where the
Yeah, their property extends right out here to this intersection.
So Skyview.
to Skyview, and then comes on that radius and then comes directly south. It ends at our parking lot. It doesn't go all the way to the property line of the LDS church right there.
Who owns that?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Who owns that property?
I think it's still the Luntz. The Luntz.
I mean, are we blocking them from being able to develop that property?
No, that we own all the property from the fence
They own
line of the LDS
everything
church.
from there.
Okay, that's what I was trying to find
Okay,
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
To the east of that, it's a steep drop off hill right there down to those college apartments.
Yeah, I know that.
And then of course the residence is there to the west, and they're all fenced off and everything on that side.
Yeah. Let me just disclose, this is my son. If anybody needs to know. He doesn't look like me or anything.
No resemblance.
So tell me about this property right here.
That's
our property.
That's their property.
It's all one.
It's all one
piece.
The road goes right down the middle of their property.
Just had to get clarity on that. Okay.
Yeah, the utility easement for the power follows along that western edge. The water utility, there's a water meter that's actually right off of the west side of the road. That's kind of right in the middle of our property, but I say no problem accessing those at any time.
Mr. Hunter, do you see any problems with this from your department?
All right. Are there any other questions with the council? Then we will open the public hearing on this item. If there's anyone that would like to address the council. Okay, seeing no one, we will close the public hearing and this will go on our action agenda. All right, item number 5, consider final plat approval for the Temple Cove subdivision.
Good evening, Bob Platt again. That's the latest drawing you have, kid?
Hey, this has been going on for a long time.
Yeah, this is ready to build this project. Everything's in place with the city attorney, money.
Yeah, Tyler said they've got the bond and the title report and everything's fine from Tyler's.
Temple's right here. This is just, yeah. This is the access off a cove into the property. This is the project, R1 lots. Been through
I know
an
where this
extensive
is.
review with the city engineer's office.
It's north.
Cove Drive.
For the
Just
temple.
north, it's the plateau north.
Does
of
it drop way off that steep hill?
Yeah, it's
The
pretty-
steep
Yeah.
hills
Going
green.
into it.
And then there's the green belt.
Do you want to give like just the tiny bit of just overview? Of,
Yeah, there's where we are. Huh?
yeah, there you go.
Okay, it's right in here, just north. This is where the temple is.
so-
Right here.
Oh, that is an old
Right in this.
picture.
So the access comes off of Cove Drive, comes down here. This is Beacon.
I thought the church went that way.
No, well, the church.
And there was some agreements in place between the church and SY Corporation in this area when the property was purchased. Those are all addressed with these construction drawings.
Bob, does that road tie into that other one right there or not?
Do we connect? No, we
don't
come
connect.
down and connect. No, we do not connect into Cove Drive or to Beacon.
Beacon Hill.
We do not.
So where's the temple?
Temple
See
is right
that
here.
Giant.
That's
Got
before
it.
it was built.
Okay, got it. Okay.
How many lots, Bob?
21, I believe. Around 20, might be 19, 20, 21. Yeah.
So the one road will be the only access then
Mhm.
off of Cove.
And there's a green belt area in here, the steep area that's not part of the lots that is the church's retaining ownership or suburban land reserve, the real estate arm. And
Okay.
They put a sign up during the open house,
So,
but it blew away and
Oh,
hasn't been put
So it's
back,
on
right?
the- it's-
Really?
It's on the west of that.
Kit, you're okay with the access road,
Yeah,
the
we've
slope,
already checked all the construction drawings on this and they've
so
been
everything's
approved.
good. Okay.
We're ready to go.
All right. Are there any other comments, questions? No, we're good with this going on.
thank you very much.
Thank you. We will move on to the staff portion. Consider approving an MOU with Iron County concerning the exchange of a city sweeper for the equal value of street signs. Hunter.
Jeff Hunter, Street Superintendent, Cedar City, Mayor, Council. Any questions?
Tell us what you want. We have to have, you're not here very often anymore.
Yeah.
We need
It's
to
good,
hear
it's
from
good
you.
to see you, Jeff.
You know, I shouldn't say, but it's nice.
Be careful what you wish
I was
for.
gonna
Budget
say,
season's
you'll-
coming up.
Yeah.
Hunter's going to be
You
back.
will be seeing him
I
a
will
lot.
be back.
I'll
With-
be back.
Yeah.
So we have no need for the sweeper.
We have the new sweeper is here. We're just waiting on, I got the plates today, so we're going to be off and running hopefully next week. So we have no need besides that guy right over there. We got to make sure we get rid of all this old equipment. So we're surplusing all of our old equipment. So this was a positive for both of us. They at times, we have gone and swept for them in the summer. They only have a couple of subdivisions out in the valley that have curb and gutter and sidewalk, and so we do some horse trading back and forth. They help us when we're chipping, and we go out and sweep for them. And so they would like to. When we started talking about it, I was constantly going over there and asking them if they could make us street signs. Especially, these like Shakespeare Lane when it's in a hurry. And I know they have a full sign shop over there. They're set up really nicely. And so we just thought this was a good thing. They were needing a sweeper. They only need it a couple times a year. So it'll work for them fine for the few times they'll use it. And it's a plus for us as you know, we bought a retro reflectivity machine, and we went around last summer. An intern went around and checked all of our signs throughout the whole city, and we failed poorly on our street signs as far as just address signs. Our stop signs we were awesome, and our, all of our speed limit signs and all that, but the actual street signs are starting to fade and
These are on the corner.
don't meet, on all the corners. And so this will be a good thing for us. We can, as we can, we will, have them make 10 or 15 at a time, and we'll go out and hurry and change them in between when we're chipping and that sort of thing. So it's kind of it's a win-win for us. And what we did is we got some comparables of this type of sweeper and the amount of hours we have like 9,000 hours on that street sweeper. So a lot of them we compared with same year only had like 1,000 hours. And so we just had to kind of take all those numbers and we come up with this 10,000 seemed to be the magic number. And so, we've already got a work order system worked out with Wade over there at the county. So when he'll fill out a work order when we go in, and Charlie goes in and we put it on there, and we've got a costs down, and we've been taking all of our signs and we put them in a basket, and it goes to California, and they buff them off and send us back all the ones that are still good, that are buffed off and ready to place a new sign on, the retroreflective stuff on. So anyway, and then the ones that are ours, there's an inventory there, and if he pulls it out of that stack, then he'll only charge us for the material on the top. But if we don't have a template that in our stock, then he'll charge us for the whole thing. But it's still better than purchasing through, Utah Barricade or one of those that we've been getting them from. So anyway, it's a win-win.
Good arrangement.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, we think the county's good for it, huh?
Yeah.
And Tyler's done all the legal stuff with their attorney, the county. So I think we're good to go.
Okay.
All right, we good at this on the
Thanks.
consent? Thanks, Hunter.
Sounds like
All
a
right.
great swap.
Item number 7, consider amending the city's works ordinance.
Hi, Wendy Bonzo, and I'm here because Tyler isn't. Our utility bills have been going out a little bit earlier, and we've always assumed that the ordinance said that they would be due 20 days after the customer receives them. It doesn't say that anyplace, and Cody feels that the 23rd is a good date. So what we've done is Tyler is we're proposing to add wording to the ordinance that specifies that the bills will be due by 5 o'clock on the 23rd, unless it's a Friday or holiday, then it will be due the next business day. So that's one part of it. Do you have any questions about that?
So what would be the lead time on a billing? About 3 weeks, or?
Well, it'll be at least 20 days because she's been getting we send our bills to Provo or Orem, and they're the ones that actually send them out, but she's getting the information to them by the 1st of the month. We can't get it any sooner than that because we have to update the previous day, but she's been getting them up there on the 1st. And so if she gets them up there early on the 1st, they're in the mail by the end of that day. So they will have at least 20 days. And it's possible occasionally with holidays or whatever that the due date would fall later, but it will never be earlier than the 23rd. And I think people you can't make everybody happy because we've had a lot of people call and complain that they're being due sooner than they used to be. And the older people that are living on fixed incomes like them being due, like them getting them early and having them due earlier because it works better with their checks that come in. So we just feel like the 23rd is probably just a logical date, and we'll set that as a firm date. Then people will know when it's due.
Seems like we had one resident that got a late charge or something because of the timing, but we worked that out, didn't we? Didn't we get all that worked out?
We can't write it off. It wasn't our fault. So but it was taken care of, but it was not written off.
Okay.
But
because we can't do that.
I can promise you, based on the day that the newsletter has to be done now, the bills are going out much earlier.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Cody's pretty speedy.
Well, and I've heard really people that really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Property owner or managers like it because they can
Mhm.
get their stuff done a little quicker. So
I
it's they're very appreciative of it.
I think, I'm not sure that's what's affecting this, but Robbie was telling me that our shut-off list was fewer pages, and they actually had to shut off fewer accounts this month. And so I don't know if having the bills due earlier is making it easier for people to get them paid, or they're paying them instead of using the money for something else. But this month was one of the better months for our shut-off list. So that helps too. And then the second part, our ordinance has always specified that we charge 5% late penalty for bills. That's not changing, but on accounts that are terminated, I send them to collections. And by terminated, I think he explains it in the ordinance, but it's when an account has actually changed ownership. So it isn't just an account that's sitting there not paid, because we can shut their water off if it's still active. But for the ones that we can't shut the water off, our recourse is to send it to collections. And so in the past, we've been eating the collection fee. So because it wasn't in our fee schedule for me to be able to charge collection fees. So we're adding that to the ordinance, and we're not making money on it. The way they explained it to me is if we sent $100 utility bill in to get collected and we were paying the fees on it, they would charge the fees on the $100. So if we charge 25%, we send in 125, they charge their portion on the whole 125. So we're never going to break even, but it'll help recoup some of our losses. And we'll never make money either on it. So just allows us to start asking the customer to pay the fee that is actually theirs. Any questions?
Sounds good.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Wendy.
All right, and this will go on our action agenda. Item number 8, public hearing to consider abandoning a portion of Wedgewood Lane.
Okay. Really, the proponents of this aren't here, but so I'll go ahead and explain it. It's been requested that we do a small abandonment on. I'll have a pointer here. Well, you see it. Anyhow, that we do a small abandonment on this road. It was originally master planned as a collector road, and collector roads, it was like this one, which is 60 feet in width from back sidewalk to back sidewalk, or 1 foot beyond back sidewalk on each side. Now our collector width is 55 feet, and so they're requesting that this was originally dedicated to 66 feet, and they're requesting that we vacate 11 feet of that to make it the current standard 55-foot wide collector, and that property would revert back to this property owner here. And we feel confident that this 55-foot width is going to be sufficient to accommodate the traffic on here, as this comes down to the intersection below. There's the same situation where we have two collectors going into a major collector. So
we think that this Wedgewood will be fine by narrowing this down. I mean, it's a pretty major road now, and I don't know how it will be in the future, but I just want to make sure that we're thinking, in the future down here.
Like I mentioned, when this road goes in and connects to this 1600 South Road, it's actually wider than a major collector from there to Main Street. So we feel like there's going to be plenty of.
Is 1600 north? Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Are there any other comments or questions from the council related to this? Not. Then we will open the public hearing. If if anyone would like to address the council on this. All right. Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing. We will move this to our action agenda. And with that,
Barbara, could you note in the minutes, so we had 3 public hearings and Tom Jett didn't say a word?
can we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You've done a good job with that ice rink. You've done a good job with that.
Yeah,
I really had a joy visiting with Fallon about that.
You got me at the.
Yeah, they are. And
All right, yeah.
but on a much smaller base. Like in our downtown.
Hey.
How have you been?
Oh, I'm curious.
Haven't seen you for a long time.
But it's just so small. That's what it helps us is the right thing. And you're doing all the right, and that's a good thing.
This building could be, because it could extend its use at least a month.
I'm gonna get the controller in the BlackBerry one.
In the summertime, this building's got a elevated roof in the middle, natural light, so the building's got natural light inside.
Yeah, he's the one that works for.
It does.
Put a face on
He
it.
was very
Also, it looks nice.
Yeah.
It's finished and has the locker rooms and
I
the
think he was very
entryway.
embarrassed.
Pedestrian in the
But
back.
he
You
was
could
very
do
I love somebody that does cabinets. Yeah.
But no,
That's great.
this individual said, you give me a tax deduction.
Yeah, our 3 boys are different in stature.
I feel so
Oh,
bad.
it was incredible.
Sorry.
Well, we would have been up to our knees if you hadn't been out there.
Are you a registered Republican?
Jason's as tall as John.
Would you like to
A
get
inch taller than me, but
Mitt
he's
on
as
the,
skinny as
get
a
him on the
rail.
ballot?
He didn't get my
Okay.
jeans, he got my jeans or
No,
something.
you're right.
Poor John got my jeans.
I don't know why Wayne's got so many trailers and then he bought that stupid sled deck. And I'm like, Wayne, we're too old for
I
that.
do read that. You have plenty of money.
Yeah.
Like 35 to 45 is like 7 guys like that.
Yeah, well, I told him, I said, I'm not ever, I said, I will never load my own sign up. I just hate that. It's hard. Yeah, you gotta put your address and include your zip code too.
Well, that's, yeah, that
I
doesn't
said, I
help you
will
one
never
bit.
load
Just say
my
you know
own
me.
sled. I will not drive it
Experts in
on
that.
that. I
I'm
will not
going.
drive it off of that. And I said, you shouldn't either. And yeah, put your zip code right there too. I said, I'll never watch you like drive it on or off. Will you put your helmet on when you're doing?